Okay, well, today is the last one. This is the third of three supplemental flashback little pieces that I'm doing. So, just to recap, we played through the entire game, all 7 levels, and each level was a different port. We started with the Amiga version, where the game originated, so the Amiga. Then we moved to like the Mega CD, the PC CD-ROM, the Mega Drive, the SNES, and ending on the latest edition, the 25th anniversary PlayStation 4. Came out at the end of last year. So we went from the very beginning to the very end, all the way through the game, doing little tips and tricks and whatnot. Then we looked at two other supplemental things. First of all, we looked at Flashback Legends, which was the aborted Game Boy Advance game that was essentially going to be Flashback 3. So the sequel to Flashback is Fade to Black, that actually released. It came out on the PC, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn. And we looked at the sequel to that, so essentially the third Flashback game. It was called Flashback Legends. It was in prototype only, never released, but it did leak out, and some fans translated it into English. So I had the English version and the French version, neither of which are stable. I mean, the game soft locks, it hard locked once. The level design isn't there yet. Some of the animations are placeholder, but it was a good proof of concept. Given enough time, maybe it would have been good. All indication points to no, it was going to be terrible. You know, going by their later work, essentially Amy, and the game I'm going to talk about in a minute. So the signs weren't good, but it was a good proof of concept that maybe something like that could have been good, or a straight port of Flashback on the Game Boy Advance would have been great. And then after that, we looked at our second supplemental game, which was Flashback 2013, which was the remake by the same guys that made the original game and made Another World and made, Amy. And it wasn't very good. It's such a letdown. That game could have been really, really good if they had just not tried to pander to the Metroidvania craze that had sprung since Flashback, and maybe try to stay away from emulating Shadow Complex. Anyway, so we looked at those two things. And this is the last one. This is the third of three. This is the Flashback demo. So way back in 1992, Commodore magazines and Amiga magazines would have got their hands on the demo, and the demo would have all they would have known about it was screenshots taken from, US Gold, and also that it was the follow-up game. Although not a direct sequel, it was the follow-up game to Another World, which was huge on the Amiga. So big, in fact, that it got ported to everything. You can play Another World on your phone, your iPod, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation, your Vita, your PSP. You can play it anywhere. Like the Mega CD had its own port and its own sequel, which wasn't very good, but, whatever. It was hugely popular. So this was the new game from those guys. And as you can understand, everyone was super excited about it. So this would have been the very first thing that they saw. So let's jump into it right now. I'm just going to hit, what am I going to hit? Reset. There we go. So yeah, this is all they would have known, is that this is the new game from the guys that made Another World. And this would have been the first thing they seen. They saw. Now, there are a few things missing. The first thing that's missing is music in certain spots. Some space has music, some don't. There's also the intro scene's completely missing. It will go straight from the Delphine Software logo to the title screen here. Now, as well as some of the sound effects being missing, some of the music being missing, there's this weird thing where after about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, the stereo separation just completely loses it, and everything will be pushed over to the right-hand side of the audio. I don't know why. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to press F1 to start. There are no options, no start, no passwords. I'm going to turn my TV down as well. Hang on. Okay, so very similar to the PC CD-ROM version, we have this keyboard layout, stroke joystick layout. What I've done is I've mapped everything to the PlayStation Classic controller, the little USB PlayStation controller that came with the PlayStation Classic. I don't actually use it on the Classic. Where I rebuilt the Legacy, I don't need it anymore, so now I use it for Amiga stuff. Because it's comfortable enough and it works, and I don't need all the buttons, and I don't need dual analog sticks, so rather than leave them in a drawer, I've been using them for this. So what I've done is I've mapped the use button to the circle, the gun button to the square, action button to the X, and inventory to the triangle. Okay, here we go. So, as you can hear, there was no sound effects during the cutscene. It still faces you starting left, and there still is the drop. You still do get the cutscene if you fall down, but no music. Another thing that you don't see anywhere except the PS4 version is if I press F1, no password. So there's no password that appears on the screen. Even the rubbish Xbox 360 version that doesn't have a password system, it still has the passwords on the screen. So yeah, that's just something else to bear in mind. So we're going to play through the game, and then what I'm going to do is, after we finish the demo, I'm actually going to break it in ways that they hadn't thought of at the time. So again, no music here. And if we use the hollow cube, let's get out of here. If we use the hollow cube, there is absolutely no music. It just plays the cutscene. And I can't skip it. I mean, it's the same thing. All the text seems to be the same. I can't see any differences in the wording. I don't think they changed anything really. It still mentions Ian, it still mentions New Washington, even though you don't go there and have no idea of what you're doing. There's no sort of like preamble, there's no... You're missing that cutscene at the beginning, the cutscene where the two guys are chasing you, so it doesn't really make any sense. But I suppose a little bit of context, and, you know, as far as the journalists that saw this first go, they wouldn't really... That wouldn't be their first question. Their first question would be, like, how many levels are there? Does it have, you know... Does it have speech? Things like that. How many frames a second is it? Things like that. Probably how many discs is it on? So what we're going to do is we're just going to work our way through this demo real quick. I am not hanging about because I've already done this and covered it in my level 1 playthrough, because that was on the Amiga, and it's exactly the same up until that point. The only difference is no sound effects. Like, I'm going to get hit by this guy down here. Oh, first things first. You start with 3 shield. I don't know why. You can go up to 4. You just start with 3, which is a bit odd. So I'm going to get hit by this guy. No sound effects. Absolutely no sound effects. Again, not quite sure why, but there you go. Alright. Conrad, do your thing, mate. Let's go back a bit. Alright. So we're going to go up here. Interestingly enough, even though it doesn't show it on the keyboard layout, there are keyboard shortcuts that are in the full game in the demo. So if I press F8, I get the zoom in function, and I can move around with the mouse, just like in the full version of the game. And it's got a different zoom as well. So if you wanted a slightly more zoomed out, you know, view, just to let you hunt around the screen for certain things. I mean, it's only in the Amiga and the PC CD-ROM version. But, yeah, it's really weird that they would have it in the demo, and it's in the manual for the full game. It tells you where it is. So there are keyboard shortcuts that it just doesn't tell you. Okay, so this is our first guy here. There is a music cue there. That's like one of the only ones in the game. Just going to shoot him real quick. And then we're going to go over to the money, which is hidden on this branch up here. For no reason, because we can't use it yet. There's no cutscene to pick it up because that hadn't been added yet. So it's really weird. We don't need the stone. I'm not going to pick that up. I do, however, if I want to finish this, if I do want to finish this demo, I do need the cartridge. So I'm just going to get rid of this guy. Oh, that's a bit close. I could have sworn I was in the right position, but there you go. Alright, let me just get past this guy. God, I could have sworn I was in the right position there, but never mind. Alright, some of the tricks that are in the full game do also apply in this version as well. For example, you don't need to open that door, you don't need to kill that guy, you just walk in behind him, take the cartridge. This cutscene is in, for some reason. And then just go. You don't need to do any of that, you never have. Okay, so we're going to go down here to our second guy. And we're going to go down, just do a quick draw, pull out the gun and shoot him. So it's still got like in the air gun movements, so you can still draw the gun while you're jumping, while you're running, while you're jumping, climbing, rolling, or dropping. You can still pull out the gun. It's not an issue. It is in there. This still works. You can just run over it and auto jump up there. We are going to recharge our thingy because we were 1 HP down anyway, and we are going to charge the cartridge. Which again is the only thing that you charge in the game other than the energy generator, other than the shield. So, let's quickly dispatch this guy. Oh my goodness, I'm messing up all my positioning today. There we go, much better, well done. Alright, let's go up here, and then we have a little puzzle, which is exactly the same in the full version of the game. And they completely messed up in the 2013 remake. Like, they kind of half did it, but missed the most important bit, which is this trip switch there. Like, that's just not in it. It's just completely pointless. It's like, why half do a puzzle? Either always, like, all do it or nothing. Right. This guy here, we can't get his teleporter because it's not in the demo, but he's in the demo. And as far as I'm aware, the text is exactly the same. I need urgent medical assistance. Awesome. Sauce. Right, let's go. This screen is quite important. Right. Try and remember, if you can, the layout of the screen. We've got this wooden thing up here, then we've got a large leaf, and then we've got a man down the bottom. This screen gets repeated when I break the demo in a weird way. Like, it's properly weird. I'm assuming that if they put the whole first level on there and then locked it off, like some journalists would have broken their way through, or maybe they were worried about it, or maybe it wasn't even finished when this was released. I know this was put on magazines as well, so maybe they were worried about releasing an entire finished product to the general public. I don't know. But rather than lock off bits of the level, they just didn't include it on the disc at all. Assets, scripting, nothing. But what they didn't do was stop people from breaking the game. Like, even in the full version, you can still break the game by running through walls, like clipping through walls. So here we're going to do this. It's going to be super quick. I'm emulating a stock A1200, but I have increased the RAM speed. Now let me get rid of this guy, and you'll notice that in the background, see in the background, where I'm shooting low and high, you can actually see it hitting off an invisible barrier. That's the end of the demo. So what I'm going to do is run over there, and you'll see me smack into it. There you go. And then when I come back, it's going to say, you have seen... what is it? You have seen the demo, but can you believe it? Well, yeah. I'm assuming that's French, just, you know, translated word for word. Flashback, a milestone in action-adventure. Available soon from Delphine Software International and US Gold Limited. So again, I'm assuming this was on magazines. I'm assuming it was sent around to people like Amiga Format, Amiga Power, CU Amiga, Commodore User, stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what this demo was for. Here's the thing. As far as demos go, a lot of this stuff appears on the internet. Like, it's 2019, you expect to see some of these things on YouTube. I found one video of this on YouTube, and a guy basically really quickly plays through it and went, yep, that's that, and then turns it off. And I don't think there is any, at least I can't find, any recorded footage or any recorded sort of people just breaking the demo. Because when you break it, it's properly weird. Like, really weird. Now, full disclosure, this might soft or hard lock this Raspberry Pi. Like, if it soft locks, you can basically still hear it going in the background, like, lovely. But the character's gone, or the character's dead, or it just hasn't reloaded. But sometimes it just straight up hard locks the Raspberry Pi, because Amiiberry loves to crash. So what we're going to do, basically, we're going to force our way through that wall. And the way you do that is by basically coming down here and busting through the wall like you would on any other version of Flashback, except for like the PlayStation 4 version, by running and then quickly turning around and then jumping back, okay? Nothing unusual there. Here's the thing. The game freaks out when you climb down here because it isn't in the demo. It doesn't have the assets. It doesn't have the background art. It doesn't have any of the platform grid laid out. But most importantly, it doesn't have sequencing, like transition scenes. So what happens in Flashback is when you go to one room, it says you are in room whatever, and you have gone to the right. To the right is room, 6. You're in room 3. What this does is when I go down, it's going to say, we don't know where you are. And when I go back, it goes, look, we didn't know where you were, so we don't know where to put you now. You know what I mean? So it knows where I am now, but when I go down, the game's now lost me. It doesn't know where I am. So what you can see on the floor is that room with the man in it who is asking for our help, who needs the teleporter. But now, instead of a man, there is a lift and 2 electric pads, which would be down here in the full game. Unfortunately, the background isn't there. So there's nothing, really. So here's the problem. The game doesn't know which room I'm in now. So when I pull up, it won't know how to get me back to where I was. So what it does is this. Okay, so what I've done is I've now entered some weird kind of void. I don't know where I am. I don't know where the grid is. So what I can do is kind of just shoot. And maybe I'll hit something, maybe I won't. It's really weird. So if I maybe step forward, oh, I fell down. And, oh, I've landed on something else. So, basically, I'm just navigating around this super weird void. And falling off things that I don't know are there. And, oh, hello. Oh, and dead. It's so weird. It's like you can just walk out of the confines of the game. It's great. And there, if you take a certain route, you can kind of get stuck. And you can see his legs. I think the same thing happens when you walk to the left of this room here, because again it doesn't know where I am. So if I walk in here, it's just taking me to a weird random place. See, I'm here now. So can I go? Oh, is there a, can I take a step? No. So there's something there. So can I go? But oh, Comrade has ceased to exist. Comrade is lost in the void. Comrade, come back. Oh no. Comrade, where are you? Oh my goodness, look at the... Alright, so yeah, that's weird as well. Look at the state of it. Everything's just broken and busted. Oh, no. Okay, can I die? Is it Shift Q, Control Q, Alt Q? Okay, reset. Alright, in the mix. Comrade back at it again. Now this time, fearless cosmonaut Comrade, we're going to get you back from the void. It's going to be like every, well, maybe not every sci-fi movie, but we're gonna enter into the void And Conrad, we want you to come home. Let's get him safe from whence no one has ever been. Okay, Conrad. You're now in the void. Oh, God! Conrad, what happened? Where are you? Come in, Conrad. Oh, it's okay. Alright, so there's a wall there. We're going to take a step. Can we go down? Oh, we can go down. Okay, Conrad, what I need you to do is drop and catch something, mate. Alright, you've landed on the floor. That's not quite what I wanted, but... Alright, maybe we can take a step. Oh, there's something there. Here we go. Conrad, your legs or your arms seem to be about 60 feet below you. Don't want to worry you, but let's go. Okay. What have we found? We found... Is there something... Yep, we found another floor. Alright, let's go. Comrade, that seems like a long drop. Can we... Oh, God. Comrade, where have you gone? Not even the game knows where he is right now. Comrade... Oh, no, Conrad. Come in, Conrad. Conrad, where are you, mate? Conrad, we've lost you. Conrad, you're lost in the void. Okay, a moment of silence for our fallen hero. He entered the void and shall never return. We got him back once, but unfortunately, he went too close to the sun a second time, and we have now lost him forever in the 1992 Amiga Flashback demo. Godspeed, brave young man. Oh, God. Right, well, I managed to get... Comrade, come in. Comrade, you've got 7 seconds. Comrade, are you there? Are you there? If you're there, give us a sign. Give us a sign, Comrade. He's alive! Comrade, well done, mate. Well done. I thought we'd lost you there. I thought we'd lost you forever. But, you're back. You're back, and, I think you deserve a hero's return. So let's end this look at the 1992 Amiga Flashback demo with Conrad doing what he does best: leaping and climbing and shooting and just fulfilling his destiny. Godspeed. Oh, anyway, that was the third of our 3 looks at the supplemental flashback games. So there was the Flashback Legends, Flashback 2013, and the Flashback demo. I thought it would be nice, as soon as we started on the Amiga, to work all the way around back to where it all began. So we started on the Amiga, worked our way all the way through to the PS4, looked at a few supplemental things, and then worked our way all the way back round to the Amiga. Thought it'd just be a nice touch. Anyway, so that's it. I've got nothing left for Flashback. So, yeah, that's me signing off. Peace.